इश्क इश्क ये जग कहता है इश्क जो चढ़े बुरा है इश्क दा रंग चढ़ गया जिसको वो जाने ये.
The film industry in India is called Bollywood. Most of the films contain dance and songs that has become synonymous with Bollywood movies. The movies are in the language Hindi, which is the official language in India. The films describes as a mix of comedy, romance, action and drama. The different types of genres bounce together into movies consisting of song and dance numbers. A musical, as we Western countries would say it. These scenes are like a dream sequence that doesn't have to make sense or not have anything to do with the movie. Bollywood, the dance, comes from the classic Indian dances such as Bharatnatyam, Kathak and Odissi, but can be inspired from street dance, hip-hop, jazz, belly dancing and musicals. The dance style is charismatic and catchy. The text and music reflects on the dance moves and emotions and expressions is very important. The dance can be performed solo or in a group. Their clothing is a costume that consists of a choli, that is a tight-fitting blouse, a linga or a gagra, which is a skirt, and the traditional wrap called chuni or dupatta.
इश्क इश्क ये जग कहता है इश्क जो चढ़े बुरा है इश्क.
A typical dance in Norway is a dance called folk dance. It's a dance which you often dance in small towns or on the countrysides. The dance itself was created in the middle of the 20th century in Sweden. Early dance in Norway consisted of song and dance. People danced to the traditional songs about heroes. Hulda Garborg was a woman that fell in love with the folk music of her country. She noticed that the songs were meant to be danced to. She didn't know the dances, so she created some steps to go with the songs. In 1902, she was able to compare her dance to those of the Faroe Islands, where they still performed the original song and dances. She took some of her steps and some of the old steps and mixed them to her own dance. She spread the dances throughout Norway by workshops so the people could learn the dances and spread them to the public. She formed a dance troupe that performed regularly as well. One of Hulda's dancers was Clara Sam. She traveled the country making record of the music, the steps and naming the dances. After Hulda, Clara continued the workshops. Norway is a member of the Protestant Church and 85% of the population are members of the Norwegian Church. To be a member in this type of church, you have the opportunity for baptism, confirmation, marriage and burial, rites which have strong cultural standings in Norway. A recent survey states that 20% of Norway's population believes that religion occupies an important part in their life. In the early 90s, it was estimated that between 4 to 5% of all Norwegians attended church on a weekly basis, which is very low and comparable to all the other European countries that are Christians. The main religion in India is Hinduism, and a huge majority in India are Hindus. Hinduism has a lot of different manners and values. An example is that they don't eat meat and they see cows as a holy animal, some sort of god, so to speak. And if we compare the two nationalities, we can see that the Indians are more passionate for their religion and they exert their religion active compared to Norwegians. Hinduism plays a greater role in Indian people's life, and Norwegians don't rely on their religion as much. The two countries, Norway and India's cuisine have very little in common, mostly because of their geographic placement. Norway is in the far north, with little variety in spices and herbs. Unlike India, which has a tropical climate and is famous for all its spices and herbs, it is understandable that the two countries won't have similar cuisine, but not only from a geographic standpoint. With the availability to spices and herbs, Indians have a different religion and culture, which often says no to meat and many others. Today, 83% of the population are vegetarians in India. Unlike Norway, where the only vegetables originated from the country were root vegetables and few of them too, people lived on meat, pork, deer, cow, and it became a part of their cuisine. The same thing goes for the Indians, except they didn't eat cows. Its cuisine originates from what was available to them from the nature, and in their case it was spicy and herbs, which gave the food a richly taste. The difference between Indian food and Norwegian is that the Norwegian food is very hot and has a big variation in flavor and normally consists of only vegetables, while Norwegian food can be seen as more neutral and more boring with less vegetables and taste. Today, the cuisine of India can be consumed almost everywhere around the world because of its popularity and can be tasted by everyone. But you have to watch out though, the food can be extremely hot.